What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So there's a rumor out about the Clippers shutting down the Kyrie Irving trade thing. I mean, it's basically like shutting it down. Like it's not going to happen. Now, in reading on a couple sites, for the one I got looking in Clutch Sports, clutchsports.com, and they were speaking about it there, and reading some of the comments on that, just kind of seemed, like, yeah, maybe, he's throwing more like a, subliminal at him or something like that. But even still, Lawrence Frank, basically essentially shuts down the idea of the Kyrie Irving, because he explains about, what the team really needs and the culture and everything like that, and how there needs to be a connection and is it a fit. And then he kind of goes into that a little bit more, speaking about, those type things is what the Clippers want in their culture. So, in saying that, it's almost like, essentially like, okay, why even have a Kyrie Irving? Why put a player like a Kyrie Irving here who might, bring a different type vibe, different type culture, or different type everything, with Kyrie. So, I mean, you can kind of take the comments either way. But like I said, just reading some of those reports and stuff like that, my personal opinion on it is, whether he says it or not, they don't need to bring Kyrie Irving there, because they know if they bring him there, it's going to be, they can't not expect anything. I mean, something's going to happen with Kyrie. Kyrie's going to do something. He's going to go off and, be a diva and don't come to work for a couple weeks. It's always something with Kyrie everywhere he's been, pretty much. So, I mean, Kyrie is a great player, but sometimes, if he was just a little bit more, I don't know, maybe in control of his thoughts at times and, put his priorities first, I think, things be a lot better for him. And, I don't really think he cares about how people look at him, but I mean, at the same time, he's also trying to win. And if you're trying to win, it's things you got to do, things you got to do better, you know what I'm saying? And, playing consistent basketball, being there for your teammates, being all in, you know what I'm saying? Not just playing basketball because it's a hobby and, this is something, you're just an artist at it, as he says, but like it's a side job. You can't play it like that. You got to play it like you really, take it serious. And, teams who want to win championships, that's the type of, environment they want to have. And, bringing Kyrie there, my personal opinion, I just don't think that's what's going to help the Clippers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that if they did do something like that, I mean, that if that team would be loaded, you know what I'm saying, if they did something like that. But I mean, even with just those three, that would be, tough for anybody to beat. But at the same time, it's a price for Kyrie. And you see how it cost the Nets last year. They get swept in the first round. I mean, there's no way. They're the only team in this past year's playoff to get swept. No other team in the whole playoffs got swept besides them. And they had two of the best scorers on there of all time. But that comes from being irresponsible, not being reliable, and not being there for your teammates. Kyrie was thinking about himself, until they lifted the mandate from New York and all that. He started playing part-time basketball, and he would have just set out he wouldn't even have cared, I don't think. Kyrie doesn't care about anything except, all the other stuff he's into. And, you got to somewhat respect that, because people had their own lives and their own thoughts. You got to respect that. But at the same time, when you got a job to do, you got to perform. And, he played good, but he didn't play good enough, apparently, because like I said, they got swept. And that's not, if you're a player of his caliber and Kevin Durant's caliber, that can't happen against a Boston team who got some young guys on there. Good young players, great young players. I mean, JT and JB, both of them are really good. I mean, I could see them really, they ain't win the championship this year, but I mean, I could see them doing something going forward. But still, the point, of the whole situation is having Kyrie on your roster can bring more negative than it can bring positive. And if that's, And to me, the way the Clippers are right now, I would keep it the way it is. Maybe with the exception of one or maybe two players, if it's, not nobody really, that, everybody contributes on the Clippers. But I mean, if you can get something better, then of course, definitely find a way to get that point guard, as I always say. But you don't need Kyrie Irving. You don't. And like I said, I know some people are not going to agree, because some people going to look at it like, well, it'd be better for the Clippers to have Kyrie Irving rather than the Lakers get him. And I definitely understand that, because it definitely would make it harder, because I would think Kyrie would make them a little bit better. I don't know if, depending on how much he plays, but, they would be, they would be a better team. I don't know if they'd be a championship team, but they would at least be a better team. So, I mean, of course, you definitely, if you're a Clippers fan, you definitely don't want to you definitely don't want that to happen. So I'm definitely, with you on that. But at the same time, like I said, you can't disrupt what they have right now. The Clippers, I mean, if you look at them last year, without their two stars, they went a lot further than anybody even gave them credit. That's the reason why I said in my other video about Luke Kennard, you can't get rid of Luke Kennard, because he was one of those players last year that kept everything going, when they actually found a way to get into the play-in tournament, and they almost made the playoffs. They was on a roll for a minute there. They could have won a couple more games and beat Denver one of those last games within that last month. I mean, they might have got that 6th seed and wouldn't have even had to go into the play-in tournament. So, I mean, this team is pretty well-rounded, and they're all battle-tested. So it's like, if they only thing they need is just to add a decent to a really good point guard there. I mean, like a Malcolm Brogdon, somebody like that, add him to the roster and get these guys the ball where they like it and allow them to operate. They're going to be a tough team. The Clippers are going to be one of the toughest outs any team is going to experience, because they'll have defense in every position and scoring in every position. And they got two of the top defenders in the league. And they got, to me, the best player in the world, Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, in the league on their team. So it's like they have what they need. You see what I'm saying? They don't really have to add too much. I mean, those two right there can be a problem. And plus, with Reggie Jackson and all them other guys that's emerged the way they have, I mean, I'm just saying, like, they're gonna be like, the Clippers are gonna be really good. Like, it's bound to happen. So, like I said, they don't need Kyrie Irving. I mean, I'd rather they go get Bradley Beal or somebody like that. Whatever. I mean, if they have an opportunity to get him, they don't need Kyrie Irving. No, they don't need that. Nah. Big distraction. Don't know what you're getting. And like I said, not reliable. I mean, that's not what you want your superstar to look like. That's not going to help you win championships. So if it's not about winning championship, then the Clippers are not for it. And the Clippers know the crew that they got right now, can win a championship. They know that. So just stick with what you have. Don't even look that way. And just keep it moving, Clippers. Because, I mean, whether Lawrence Frank really meant what he said or not, in those comments that you can check out on clutchsports.com and a few other sites, it doesn't matter, because truth being, you can't bring a distraction there, and that's it. I mean, you have to try to win this championship with the team you have. And because, I mean, first of all, Ty Lue said he want to run it back with everybody. So if they allow everybody to come back, with the team that they have, if that's Ty Lue's wishes, then that's probably what's going to happen for the most part, maybe with one or two additions or subtractions or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, just keep it like that, and and see what happens. If you can land maybe like a Bradley Beal or somebody that's somebody like that, maybe, what I'm saying. But if it's not somebody else or somebody like that, it definitely don't need to be Kyrie. So like I said, just keep what you have and take it in the next season. Hopefully everybody's healthy 100% as much as they can be, and take it the distance and see what happens. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. As always, check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.